Hi, I'm Jim. I'm a narcissist. I have narcissistic personality disorder. As someone with narcissistic personality disorder, decided I would make these videos for really anybody that's just trying to gain information. So if you think you may have this disorder or you've been diagnosed and, whether that awareness is recent or for a long time, maybe this will help you identify with someone. Maybe it'll kind of open your eyes to a couple things that they haven't been opened to. My eyes open just about every day to something new when it comes to this disorder. Maybe you think someone you know or care about has this disorder. You're just not really sure. Maybe you're a victim. If you are, I'm sorry. I can only imagine what that must be like, and I apologize. Anybody looking to gain information. So, my topic today, there's no tissues. I don't think we're crying today. You get me talking about that girl, I'm gonna cry. You get me talking about, it's gonna be the rest of my life. You get me talking about that girl, I'll cry. Not today. We're not gonna talk about that girl today, right? Maybe I need the tissues. Maybe I do. Okay. All right. Sidetracking me already. So something happened, and I think it's a great opportunity, to process how this for me would manifest. And one of the bad things for me is making enemies, right? Man, I was kind of so good at it, and a couple things come into play. A couple of the symptoms of narcissistic personality disorder. The rules don't apply. Right? We always gotta come out on top. We always gotta be the winner, right? So, the other day at work, and I'm an auditor. I'm lucky enough to have a job where I get to, nobody says anything. I keep music in my ears, right? Love music, just the life force. It is. And of course, when you're auditing, sometimes, you're thinking and trying to work through some stuff and just kind of tapping on the desk, and somebody pretty far away made a pretty ignorant comment. Now, here's the thing: automatic negative responses. So there is a chance that their comment was pretty basic, but my automatic negative response took it as negative. But I heard it as very snarky, right? And the comment was, "Is everything okay?" Now, of course, you see my mannerisms and but so at that point, I deciphered that my tapping on the desk was annoying my coworker, so I stopped. So today I'm remote, and I reached out to my boss just to go over some things, and at the end, he addressed me tapping on the desk, which at that point, that means that my coworker, felt that, that they needed to escalate that. So, of course, at that point, I felt like they brought it to my attention. I felt like they brought it to my attention in a very negative fashion. I felt like I addressed it immediately, did not tap on my desk again. Had never tapped on my desk before. This was the first time it happened. So this is definitely one of those situations, whether it's my NPD or not, I felt like I was the victim, because that's what our disorder does. It makes us the victim. I felt like this person shouldn't have acted in that way towards me. This person definitely should not have gone to my supervisor. Just a whole bunch of things. And I tell you, the flood of retaliation thoughts immediately. So here are my go-tos. Like, first thing, you know what I mean? I'm ready for the feud, right? I want with me, I want the silent army, right? So I want to immediately cut off communication with you. Like, I'm thinking and finding ways that not only will I not communicate with you, but that you'll know that I'm mad because of my lack of communication, right? Like, can I find ways to walk by your desk and deliberately not talk to you, right? That's a big one for me, right? Hey, when you send out things on Teams, right? or emails, and it's just friendly and everybody responds. Well, I won't respond, and you'll know that I'm mad at you, right? You'll know that I know that you told on me, right? So that's one of the really, really big ones for me. But when we have NPD and we're on a wellness journey, a journey towards betterment, right? We want our future to be better than our past. One of the things that we need to do is let's walk down that path. Okay, so I've done that in the past. I've done that silent feud with coworkers. What happens? Oh, it escalates, right? I mean, it literally does become a feud, right? So they sense the energy, right? They definitely sense the negativity, and they retaliate, right? Then they retaliate, and of course, we're not gonna let them to get the best of us. So we retaliate, and it just keeps escalating, Maybe we take it a little bit further. They went to a supervisor about us. Now we start looking, for things that they're doing that we can go tattletale on them so we get the best of them, right? But what does that do? At some point, that shows upper management that we're not leadership quality, okay? An inability to get along with peers is pretty much a necessity for a promotion. So it's putting us in a very bad light. It's going to inhibit us from growing and developing with the company the way that we want. Then we ask ourselves a couple other questions. Hey, could I maybe be misinterpreting this? Is there any other option? Well, I haven't really thought about that before, and I never did. I mean, me in the past, never did. So how could this have been different? Hey, there's factors I might not know about, right? This girl may have like some kind of migraine issue, and that tapping, like, you know what I mean? Because I've never had this type of experience with them. Like there could be things that I don't even think of, or I don't even know about, right? And let's go to she went to my boss. So immediately in my mind, automatic negative thoughts. She's like, man, you will not believe what this little mother Jim did, right? Maybe it's not like that at all. Maybe, she's talking to the supervisor, and the supervisor's like, all right, that's it. And she's like, oh, you're like Jim. Like, Jim, what do you mean? Oh, yeah, Jim taps on his desk. Maybe it wasn't a tattletale, maybe it was just something in conversation. And then, and he's like, tapping at your desk probably isn't the most professional, probably isn't the most appropriate. Let me run that by Jim. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just that simple. I mean, but the point being, hey, are we drawing conclusions? Have I gone to her and asked her? Have I gone to him and asked him? No. All right? Am I drawing conclusions? Yes. Is there any other way this could have happened? Oh, well, we just figured that out, right? Has there ever been a scenario where I felt like something like this was definitely one way and it wasn't? Oh God, yes. My disorder sits on my shoulders, yelling crazy stuff into me all the time. Could this be a similar situation? Oh God, yeah, it definitely could. Like that could be what's happening, right? So, then, what do? Right? First thing is the hardest, okay? We gotta tell those thoughts no. This is, and I bring up the analogy, and hey, for us, which is, it's most of us, right? That we have addiction and NPD, right? I mean, the statistics show it. I mean, if you got NPD, I mean, it's almost a guarantee you got an addiction of some kind, right? And I kind of liken the two, you know what I mean? I mean, and where I'm going to create that scenario is, and trust me, I'm a food addict, right? I have a food addiction. So I know about those voices and those urges when it comes to an addiction, right? And these thoughts are the same way. Man, when you get those urges, like, whether you're an alcoholic, a sexaholic, drug addict, whatever your addiction is, like I said, mine's food, right? When I get those urges, I'm like, oh, Jim, eat, right? I gotta tell them no. I gotta fight them. I gotta fight those urges, and that's not easy, right? That's a battle. They some strong MFers. I promise you. Those demons are vicious, all right? I do the same thing with this MPD stuff. Okay? So I'm getting those thoughts. Hey, you need to retaliate. You can't let this coworker get the best of you. Are you joking? Right? They're not treating you the way you deserve to be treated. You're the victim here, right? That's what the MPD's telling me, right? You got to retaliate. You can't let them get the best of you, right? I got to fight that, right? I got to tell myself, I want my future to be better than my past. I'm not going to let this disorder control things like I did before. So when all those thoughts, are popping up, I got to fight them. And with this situation, it's going to be different, right? Because I have a battle plan. Here's my battle plan, okay? My battle plan is I have walked myself through some things. So some of the things that I do is I try to put myself in the other person's shoes, right? So I understand with NPD, empathy is a huge issue, right? But try it. Say to yourself, all right, I'm this other person. I'm that person sitting at that other desk. And man, this dude's happy. I mean, I gotta be honest, I'm energy. I am. That's what I do, right? Drinking my coffee, getting the caffeine rush. I'm always smiling. I'm always making positive comments. That's what I do. Like, that's got to be annoying enough. I know who I am. I mean, I've gotten comments my entire life is, dude, you were just extra, right? And they don't say that in a good way. You know what I mean? So I'm sure, like, 9 to 5. You know what I mean? 5 days a week. It's tough to work near me. I get that, right? So that's already a challenge. Especially maybe that person's having a really bad day. So I'm having a really bad day. Man, I just want to zone out. Jim and his effing energy's already on my nerves, right? And then and now it's plugging, right? It's hitting me like friggin' knives in the skull. They have every right in their workplace to say, hey, I don't want this dude banging on a desk. That's I have the right to work in a place where, I'm desk banging free. There's no desk banging noises, right? What else? I'm not a victim, right? So I'm getting back into the role. So I'm her, I'm sitting at the desk. I got every right to tell a boss about it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna try not to do the victim thing. But here's the thing. If it's something that annoyed me, I got every right to go to whoever I want and tell them whatever I want. Did that employee lie? No. Right? Did it bother them? Evidently. So if I'm in that shoes, I got every right to be like, hey, Jim was banging on his desk. What I got to be careful of is finding those little sideway ways to be retaliatory and to make myself the victim, right? And to not take responsibility. I mean, come on, I was banging on my desk, right? That's me. And here's the thing. So now let's put ourselves through it. Like, what's the easiest path forward? Just don't bang on the desk again, right? But what else? Let it go. Right? Let it go. Let it go. And what my plan is, not just to let it go, right? I'm trying to make peace with it, allowing myself to acknowledge that other person is a human being. They are a peer, they are a coworker, and they have every right to do the things that they've done. But I want to make sure that I don't find myself, but there is still a did, but I'm just not going to do anything. And no, right? I need full and true acceptance. Okay? That's how we make sure that the bad stuff doesn't find its way in. Because if we do that, we're only half committed, that's when the bad stuff finds its way in. That's what it's looking for. I mean, it's got to be the full commit. I mean, we got to convince ourselves, hey, they're a peer, they're a coworker, and they have every right, to make the comment, and they have every right, to go to a supervisor, right? But if you're like, yeah, they're a peer, they're a coworker, they're a lousy coworker, and they got every right to be a whiny baby and go to the boss, and then Jim banging on his desk. When you do that, and it's not sincere, you're not taking accountability, and that demon's getting you. I'm telling you, you left the door cracked, and that dude gonna kick that fucking door down and fuck you up. I promise you, right? Like, that's what our disorder does. It wants us to half commit. No. You got to full commit, right? Because that's how we keep that disorder in control. And one of the other things that I'm going to do, of course, I'm remote today, so I'm not in the office to invoke this part of my plan. But I want to get past it, right? And I've spent some time thinking about it. Like, is this something I want to address with the person? And the person's still pretty new. And every conversation we've had has been very, very nice, very cordial. We had several conversations later that day that were very nice and cordial, right? So what I want to do is return to that. Like, here's the thing, at the end of the day, they don't need to know what I know. I don't have to give them that information. I've thought about, is that something I should bring to their attention? Maybe apologize. I don't think that's going to gain the effect that I would want it to. I think there's the potential for it to be awkward and uncomfortable to the point where then I think the negatives may outweigh the potential positives. But here's what I think I'm going to do. Well, no, here's what I've decided to do. I'm just going to go back to being friendly with the person, right? I've had successes like this, and what I've noticed is that first genuine, sincere, hey, how you doing today? Man, it changes everything. Because remember, me before, I'd be in that negative, I'm not talking to you, and and you know what I mean? My side, I'd have that brick wall up, and I was ready for that feud. But giving that person the smile, opening that conversation, that really has changed everything, right? And it really helps me to let things go. It really does. It sounds it's just so simple, it's just so basic, but it's got to be sincere. You know what I mean? Like, we've all been to that restaurant where you complain about the waiter or waitress, or you say something really ignorant to them, and they pretend to be overly nice because they know their boss can't get them in trouble, right? But they pissed at you and they're trying to retaliate. Like, you can't do that. Oh my God, how are you doing on this such amazing, glorious, this is the greatest thing. No. Hey, how you doing? How's your day going? Right? Just that simple, right? Just break that awkwardness and get back to business, right? It's a great job. I love my job. I don't want anything bad to happen to this job. I want to grow with this job, right? And I want to put myself into that position to grow. And I think the people that make those decisions, really like me. And I don't want to do anything to jeopardize that. And being able to get along with my coworkers and, work through some contention, right? And some strife. That shows growth and development, not just for me, but, for anybody that's looking at me. You know what I mean? And also, we don't always know other people. So, this could be a person that identifies certain traits in me, and they might be trying to see if they can get under my skin, right? So this could be a scenario where I'd be feeding right into what they want me to do. We have to look at all possibilities. But the most important thing is, don't react immediately. Allow yourself some time to think it over. Think through it. What are the different options, right? Is there a chance that you are using automatic negative thoughts? What can we prove? What can't we prove? Is there any chance that this could be a little bit different than we think it is? Has our disorder ever lied to us in a similar situation, and it turned out to be false? And this kind of stuff. Hey, man, talk to the therapist. Use your journal, right? Track your successes, right? Forgive yourself for the failures. But this is a big one. For me, this is huge, right? This is the stuff that cost me jobs in the past. This is the stuff that cost me relationships. Right? This is it seems little, but it's so big. It's so big. It's so big. And yeah, I wanted to share that today. I hope it continues to be a success. I'm feeling really good about how it's going to go, right? Super excited. And you know what? Little things. Tomorrow's Friday, so I'll be back in the office tomorrow, Friday, weekend. What? Tearing it up. So there's just a perfect, doesn't just have to be a hi. Hey, happy Friday. You know what I mean? And even better news, my company's doing some Cinco de Mayo, so we're getting off early, and they're doing some like catered lunch thing or something. I don't know, like fajitas. They're even doing free beer, So we, I don't drink, but not that you need to know that. And now I feel obligated. Not that I'm an alcoholic. I was diagnosed with diabetes a couple years ago, and alcohol is one of the things that I gave up because it turns to sugar in your blood system. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, tomorrow's gonna be a cool day. So I'm gonna go to the office. I'm gonna kind of, like the silent feud. I'm gonna silent reconcile. Oh, I like that. That's the new thing. I'm gonna silent reconcile. Yo, and that don't even know we're coming. She got no clue. I'm about to silent reconcile with her. Yeah, and at the end of the day, she's a good coworker, right? And it's good company. And I've had nothing else negative to say in any way, shape, or form, and there's just no reason, that I should allow one little thing like this, to jeopardize, a good work relationship and a potential, good job and potential for advancement, things like that. But yeah, I hope this was helpful. Glad I didn't cry. I told you, man. You ever want to see me cry? Just put in the comments to tell you about that girl. Man, see, I can't stop thinking about it. Man, oh man. I ain't crying. It ain't happening. It's not gonna happen, right? We all got to take responsibility for the things that we do in this life. But I hope this is helpful. If you think you might have this disorder, man, you should be able to identify. This is one of those things that you might be able to identify with. And if you do have this disorder, man, I'm hoping you're on that wellness journey. I promise you. If you know somebody with this disorder, maybe this helps to give you a little info into what they're like. So maybe that's if you're the other coworker, right? And they start doing silent feuds with you, right? Man, maybe now you know. Now you know, man, that explains why that dude always so crazy doing all that crazy stuff. I never understood, right? So yeah, maybe it's hopeful. Maybe it's helpful in some way. And if you think or you do have the disorder, and man, you're able to identify situations like this, celebrate those successes, right? And if you don't, learn from those failures. Work with your therapist, right? They're good people. They got good knowledge. They're gonna help, right? You gotta be receptive to that information.